All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends. This is a casual conversation, no geopolitics today. So, why not? Actually, I was thinking, guys, why not? We'll do this like, let's say, once a month. Usually, when I used to do it for the members on YouTube, the one many will show up there. So it's kind of I'll be there for a whole time, but it will only be few people. So this one here, we'll do it for everybody. I'm assuming the members are okay with that. Then we'll do it once a month where we just have a conversation. A lot of issues to tackle about life, about health, about so much. And I'll share some private stuff with you, my private life, which usually I don't do that much. So consider yourself lucky. So, anyway, no, there is no formality. There is nothing. I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat box here just to see whether statements or some things just to share with us. I do have something in mind, of course. I would like to share with you. It's just part of the knowledge. For example, about the universe. Astrophysics is one of my considered hobby. I wish I would have brought the telescope. I have a telescope here in the house. It's in the other side of the house. Maybe next time I'll bring it over. Then share a few things with you based on my reading that I've done over the years and all that, and share things with you from different aspects of it. So this is what we're gonna do. So not informal, okay? Not informal. So here's funny. Look at guys. Jidwag, aliens, aliens, aliens. We'll get into that. Hello, Farhad. I saw your statements earlier about doing something on the other platform. No, I won't be able to today. It's because I have another commitment because I allocate the time for this. This is why yesterday I did the survey because I wanted to know. If they were only like 40% of it, then I wasn't about to do it. But when I saw over 70, I think let me check the record here to make sure so I give you the accurate account or percentage that is for how many responded to that survey question regarding the live stream. And I have it right here in front of me. Question for you. Conversation with the community. Yeah, 74%. So this is why I end up doing that one. So all right, good to see you all. North of 49, Kanak, Muslim Revert, good to see you. Alam Seen, as always. Farhad Razavi, as always. Hamad Sidi, Boycott, Poyang Tzu, John Smithens, good to see you. China, the side you don't see, good to see you. Chanel, good to see you, as always. Francis Tango, good to see you. Ness, hello to you as well. Q Quaid 70, Illinois from Montreal, or IL, I'm sorry, IL from Montreal. Who else is here? Rampolance 01, Wong KC, good to see you. Sayed Razali, good to see you as always. Ness, yeah. So anyway, this is what we're gonna be just chatting basically. I will answer a few questions, but not in geopolitics today, guys. It's just and speaking of the other platform, I am looking into a very major story right now, but I will deal with that at the beginning of next week. Very disturbing if it is, if it's confirmed. Uh, Very disturbing. Let's leave it for Monday and we'll deal with that. So, all right, let me start by sharing something private about me. Would you guys want to know? All right, let me get into my email because I have them in my email as images. Okay, so I'm gonna share them with you just for you. For those who know, I already shared some pictures about my backyard where I have my kind of where I grow my veggies and all that stuff. And I did mention to you guys that I have chickens at home. So here is, let me share the screen with you. Uh, all right, here they are. Yeah, check this out, guys. Yeah, Those are my 4 chickens. Yeah. So the white one is Layla. The one behind it is Carrot. The black one is Tara, and the multicolor one, black and white here, is Sky. So those are, but all the laughing and joking aside, guys, think about it. And you're smart enough. Do the math. 4 eggs a day. Do it for the year. And if you go to grocery store, you see the difference now. Eggs cost about $10. And even though this saying, oh, those eggs are good for you, we don't know what you, meaning those companies are feeding them. And if you only know how they grow the chicken so fast, that is not a healthy way how they grow this chicken. I'm not saying you don't eat chicken, whatever. That's your decision. All I'm saying is cost-wise. Yes, it was a hassle when they were itty bitty. Once they grow a little bit bigger, you don't have a, because they make a lot of mess, whatever. So that's just part of how the chickens are. So let me see another picture if I can put it up here for you. I do have them separately, but sometimes I let them inside the house. Well, of course, they sleep inside the house. Yeah, they have their own coop or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I have. Yeah, this is. Let me share this image with you here in the backyard. That's where I work on helping my wife with the chicken, but also with learning how to plant. She knows about farming inside out. A very, very smart lady, even though she's involved in medical stuff. She knows about health issues a lot, big time. This is no, you can't put a rooster here. AG, the city won't allow it. It's the ordinance. In a neighborhood, you are not allowed to have a rooster. It's against the law here. But you are allowed to have chickies. This is Carrot. This is the back here, guys, on a picture. That's where I grow the veggie stuff. And this was supposed to be the coop for them. But because it gets sometimes very, very cold, we put them inside the house. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Here is yeah, that's about it for that one. So let me share something else quickly here before I'll get into yeah, I'll show you an image of some crops that have been growing in the backyard, and this will give you an idea. And again, I am doing this, guys, to give you an idea of how you need to prepare yourself. You don't wait. You grow. You don't need much space. This is I think the zucchini or cucumber, one of the other. So, and this is from that garden in the back. So yesterday or the day before, just had broccoli from the back, cauliflower from the back, the salads, all that stuff from the back. So now I'm gonna have to take all that stuff out because the season now. I have to plant potatoes for the fall because it takes that long, and it's the time of the year when you do that one. So one more picture here, if I can get it, and let me see. Yeah, here's another one here, and so you'll have an idea when I just pick them up from the ground, right there. Yeah, just pick them up from the ground. That was before we planted the cabbage and cauliflower and so forth. All right, where is another picture that I wanted to show you? I don't see it here. Why not? Okay, let me see. Oh, Tarifa. This is a picture that I took in Tarifa. Do you guys know where Tarifa is? Maybe not. Let me just share this with you, and you'll see. Yeah, I had to make stop in Tarifa in my last trip overseas, and it was this German Shepherd there. It was so friendly. It really let me stand by his side and take a picture, and it was fine with it. So usually German Shepherds are very, but it was okay. So do you know where Tarifa is? Let me type it for you. It's right there. Tarifa. Let me just see if you guys know what it is. And it's not my dog, by the way. It's not my dog. So, yeah. Do you know where Tarifa is? Nice place, nice area. Worth visiting if you ever get a chance. Guys, laid back, very, very laid back by the water. Uh, Now, Tarifa is in Spain. So that's the cross Gibraltar. That's what it is. A very, very small area there. If you ever get a chance to. And the last picture I'll share with you is a private. That's me and my wife here. So I'm going to share the picture with you guys. I usually don't do that, guys. I'm very surprised, but you the community. So that's me during my wife attending a black tie event. That was a few, actually way back, like 2 or 3 years ago or so. So I kept the pictures of it. Uh, so we just went over, and that was, by the way, for the veterans, for the military. So uh, I usually where I met with some former high-ranking generals at the Pentagon, and you kind of know the community. A lot of people know who's who and all that, so it's easy to have a conversation with. And this is when we went last time and attended that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, let's go back to what do we want to talk about? Let's start about space. How about that? I'll do a little bit about space. And again, I don't want to be the one sort of dictating the conversation. I want you to be part of it. If you want something else, I'd be happy to talk about it. But if you just have some information I would like to share with you that I would like, just food for thoughts. That's it. No more, no less. Space. Or the universe for that matter. So here's a question for you guys. Here's a question for you. And please just be honest, yes or no. Do you think we are the only one in the universe? Yes or no? Straightforward. There is no if on that. There is a reason why I'm asking this. Yeah, yes or no. That's it. No. Do you think we are the only one in the universe? Oh, AG, you got it. Spain, about Spain. You got it. Sometimes it takes a while for this to show up here. Thank you, Po Yang Tzu. Thank you very much for me and my wife. So the answer, what is your answer, guys? North, you saying yes? Ness, you saying no? Juan Casey, you saying yes? Okay. It says, Mr. Watchamakalit, you're saying no. Lance Barrett, you're saying no. Michael, I definitely no. So, yeah, it is. And I'm not saying I know the right answer. All I'm saying, guys, it's just we're going to have to take a step back and think about how vast the universe is. How vast is only what we know, to the extent of what the Hubble telescopes and so forth can go and extend to the edge of the universe. But there are those conversations from, and I still till today follow the likes of Professor Michio Kaku. He's a string theory physicist, so he understands a little bit. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's also what's his name, Brian Greene. There are some smart people out there, and all the argument is that the age of the universe, that's all we can see. So which means what? That there is other type of universes out there. And I remember Brian Greene did this comparison. You think of the whole universe as a whole, everything in it, like like a loaf of bread. And a loaf of bread does have slices, right? And each slice considered the universe. So, and this is why I'm asking the question. With all that in mind, do you think we will be the only intelligent life? That will be very pathetic of us to be thinking of ourselves as this high and mighty. No, no. Uh, I do what I'm gonna share this with you, but not detail is kind of very. I had some experiences. Let's just put it at that. Because if I am to disclose the, people will think I lost my mind. So that's why I rather not. I usually don't discuss but at least the experience that I had once gave me an idea that, wow, there is just something out there that is completely different, that is far intelligent than we are. So makes me take a step back and start to think, you know, despite our, because here's the thing, what percentage do you guys think we use when it comes down to our brain capacity? You know, our brain is a massive machine, but what percentage do you guys think we use? Can you type that in the chat box? Just guess. Just guess. A wild guess. An average. Boycott, you got a 10%. That's the average. So if you take someone like Einstein, which their intelligence is a little bit elevated in comparison to nobody, 100%. No, that's too much. You meant 10%, I think. Yeah, 10%. So just imagine, guys, just imagine this. If we are to increase that capacity to, let's say, 25%, and could this explain why, for example, we'll have visits from outside our solar system? Is that means that they are far smarter than us? Most likely the case. Most likely the case. And it was now I think it's declassified right now. It was a case that took place in Lake Baikal. You all know where Lake Baikal is. One of the deepest fresh waters lake ever. Does anybody know where Lake Baikal? Oh, Cyrus, great. Good to see you. I have to say this. Cyrus, great. This is the individuals who buys me coffee every day. Every day. Since I started that platform, it's Cyrus Great that does that. So I just want to acknowledge it. Same with TC Kwan. So that just good to see you, Cyrus, as always. Yeah, you guys are right, in Russia. And it was a case that was classified at that time by the KGB way back. They declassified some of it. And by which the divers went down in Lake Baikal. There were about 6 of them, 5 or 6. And when they went down, all of a sudden, there were these humanoids, some entities of sort were staring at them, you know. And I saw the footage myself. I wish I'll dig it out, and if I find it, I'll bring it to you guys, share it with you. And they were just no gear. They just had this thing on their heads where you can see them breathing, okay? And their hands, they have hands like you and I, but their fingers are not the same. They are like two like this. Something, it's just very different. Same thing with their feet. They have feet dangling like this, but not fingers. They just two. Anyway, and what does divers get crazy? They wanted to capture them. So one thing you learn about diving, and you learn how to communicate underwater. There are certain signals you do and those are professional divers. Those are Navy divers for the Russians. So what they wanted to do, they wanted to capture them. So they tried to get a net. And before they even started, those entities, those beings, whatever you want to classify them, it's because their mental capacity are far beyond what we can even imagine. This is the type of the experience I encountered. Has nothing to do with the physical. It has to do with the conscious level, except that I was in the setting physically, except with a different level of conscious. I don't know how to explain it. This is why I never disclose it. I will never disclose it. I feel comfortable keeping it the way it is because people won't believe it anyway. So, and I'm not saying you won't. It's just I feel comfortable that way. But it was just on a conscious level. So those entities knew right away and took them up quickly. Well, what happened when you go up so quick from a depth? You die because of the pressure, right? Well, 2 of them died, 3 survived, but those 3 were not authorized to disclose anything about it. So the encounter. So my point on all this doesn't, it just defies logic that we will be the only entity that exists in this universe. That's my point for all this one here. One thing else I want to share with you regarding this topic, and I'll move to something else based on what you guys want. This is the equivalency of when a star is born. They explode. That's where the birth or the death of a star. Then, and again, I am not an astrophysicist. I am not sort of versed into this. All I'm doing is I've been reading a lot about this. So because I like it and I want to expand my thinking as far as when I look up. That's why I have the telescope here. Next time I'll bring it over. I think, we can't be the only intelligent life here because to them, we are like primitive. I mean, think about it, guys. Think about it. Would you have a conversation with a squirrel? Would you have a conversation with an ant? The same argument. For them, we are very primitive. Like, still we got a lot to learn. And this is where that idea of the types of civilizations that exist, and I'll get into that in a minute because I want to talk about this one here. What is this, guys? What is this picture? Oh, sorry. Yeah, can you type in the chat box? What is this picture? Boycott, you talk to your cat. Yeah, you say the words, come here, whatever, they understand. Animals, because animals are also smart. We think they are not. Nobody, you got it right. It's Jupiter. It's Jupiter. What is known about Jupiter, guys? Do you know? And again, this is just a conversation. What is one thing Jupiter is known for when it comes down to its existence in our solar system? Planet, for sure. For sure, it is planet. It is one of the biggest, yes. There is another thing that it has very, very, very known for. And the story I'm going to share with you will give you a reason why. I'm just trying to see here if anybody can. It is expensive, for sure. For sure. How about its mass? Gas planet, that's correct. What about its mass? Do you guys know anything about that? Yeah. Jupiter, its mass is about 10 times that one of the Earth. Okay? And the reason I want to mention this is because it was a case. I mean, a real life scenario here. The government kept it secret at that time. Later on, they talked about it. Back in the 90s, I would say around 96, 97, somewhere around that time. You all know we do have satellites that track space, especially the ones in Chile, in the southern hemisphere, and of course the one in Hawaii, and the other one in Europe in conjunction with the European Space Agency. But the main one in Hawaii and Chile, in Chile, those are the ones that track whatever. What the scientists, what they find out, and of course this is through calculations and so forth, they found out that one asteroid was on its way to Earth. And based on the calculations, hypothetically, if this would have to keep in its trajectory, it would have hit Hawaii. Well, if you all know what an asteroid will do when it hits, if it would have hit Hawaii, Hawaii will be wiped out. California will be wiped out. Australia will be wiped out. Japan will be wiped out because the tidal waves, right? So the scientists at that time, this is why you have the federal government funds NASA. There is a reason for that. That's why any sensitive information does not get released to the public. This case was one of those. Because what would happen if you would have told the masses, oh my gosh, there is an asteroid on its way? That will create social breakdown. People panic. And panicking, you all know what it will lead to. That's the same argument for like when you start having people going hungry. You all know what it's going to lead to. So back then, the scientists did the calculations and they did find out that he was on really the trajectory for Earth. But here is where the role of Jupiter comes in. And remember, the calculations they made when that asteroid was still far out. I don't know how. That's their field. They know how to calculate that stuff. But anyway, when you look at the setting of, and I got a picture for you here, guys. When you look at the setting of our solar system, okay, when that asteroid gets closer to Jupiter, sort of atmosphere, and what did I say about it earlier? It's 10 times the mass of Earth, which means, in a simple language, you can look at that the ability of Jupiter to suck everything that comes on its path. Think about it. When you use a vacuum at home, when you vacuum your carpet, it sucks everything on its way, right? It's the same way Jupiter works. This is why it is where it is. So when that asteroid gets closer, 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 the mass of the Jupiter just sucked that in. And this is why the government later on, it wasn't like a month or two later, they waited about 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years before they released information about, yeah, Jupiter protected us from that, just how it happens to be. So, and this is again why I wanted to just ask this question: are we alone? Are we the only one? And my answer, for me personally, no, we're not. There are other far intelligent entities that exist out there. So, and I'm not gonna get into this conspiracy stuff, whatever. I'm just talking based on what I read. That just and again, my common sense and my own experience. That's for me. So I just wanted to share that with you, for you guys to have an idea, because when you think about Jupiter, literally, Jupiter has about 79 moons. Astrophysicists call it the king of planets. So that's just because it is the largest in our solar system. So that's the whole idea of it. So, now, when I looked, we're done with this. We're gonna move to something else, unless you have a question about it. If I can answer it, this is not my area, so I don't topics that I am not well versed in. I can share opinion, whatever, but I am not qualified for that stuff. So when I looked at, by the way, when I looked at your comments about when I put the survey, one of you guys, a name is Azardris 7092. You put down, do talk about travels, cultures, and cuisines, including value system and rituals from around the world. Yeah. I don't. Well, I can only talk about the countries that I've been in, and I've been in about 26 countries or 27, something like that. I remember, for example, when I went to Cambodia, I went to Phnom Penh, and I went outside. I don't stay in a compound. To me, that's pathetic. That's how you get to learn about people. So this is, to me, what a role of an ambassador ought to be. Ambassador doesn't have to stay just at the embassy with all the security. It's nonsense. If you want to be a good ambassador, you're going to have to step outside into the streets of the country where you are serving and interact with the locals to have a better understanding. That's, to me, I look at it. So when I was in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, I was to go out and walk around, and I just learned about how the culture in Cambodia is. And what I noticed was everybody is quiet. That doesn't mean they don't want to talk to you. If you talk to them, they'll answer you, assuming they speak your language and so forth. Or they'll smile, whatever. But what caught my attention was how quiet or how silent people are, and reflecting the part of the culture in, at least in that region where I was. And of course, that ties, because anytime you mention Cambodia, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind the moment you mention Cambodia and some other countries like Laos and even Thailand and so forth? What comes to your mind, guys? Yeah, politeness, of course, but there is something else. Monks. What do monks known for? No, beside the war, Alamseen, I'm talking about from the spiritual aspects. From the spirit, you guys are right. What you said, you were right. Yeah. How can you forget Pol Pot? Yeah, of course you won't. But I'm talking about from No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. What you wrote. Let me. No, not necessarily. China, the side you don't know. Yes, it exists in every country. We have it here as well, but not necessarily that one there, at least in my encounters. So the silence of those individuals or the quietness reflected of how they are really in tune with their conscious level. Because it wasn't about, being loud and being this. They just mind their own business, walking quietly. You can even see, I even observed how graceful they walk. They're not walking with this attitude of, they walking, walking with purpose, if I may use the term. So that's one of the cultures there. Of course, I had to eat the food in Cambodia, which was nice. I enjoyed it. It was very, very, very nice. So this person who put the comments about the travels and cuisines, yeah, you learn a lot. This is one thing. I'm already putting some sort of notes for myself regarding the Asia trip, because I'm going to a different culture that I have, first of all, to understand how to respect their culture. That's one, so I won't cross the line, because that becomes on me to know where the boundaries are. I don't expect them to tell me, yeah, sometimes you make mistakes, you don't know. Like what happened to me in Uzbekistan one time. I didn't know in their culture you can't do that. So the cops came in and I was like, hold it, man, what's going on? Oh, you don't do that in our country. Because I said, doing what? Because to them, when I found out later on, it was somebody who spoke English, explained to me what it was. And all it was, I was standing waiting for my colleagues and I was doing this. For us Americans, sometimes we just, well, to them in Uzbekistan, that's a bad, bad, bad sign. That means you want to call in for some, you know, like prostitution or something like that. And I never even meant it that way. So when the cops came in, and I was like, hold on a second, how will I even know that? I didn't know. Then someone explains, like, hold on a second, he's not from here. He doesn't understand our culture. You don't. So they told me, please don't do that. I said, of course. I said, my apologies. I apologized to them. And I said, because you don't want to offend another culture. And that shows a sign of respect for the culture. So Asian cultures, all of you all know, guys, for example, to Asian cultures, how much trust means. Asian cultures won't call you a friend just overnight. You have to earn that trust. So Asian cultures also, you don't talk too much with your hands, because in their culture, they're very quiet. And to me, the whole reason to that, I think, and I could be wrong, and please correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. The whole reason for that is they are not, the Asian cultures, most of them, not all, I shall not generalize, they are not tied to the materialistic world we have in the West. In the West, we gauge everything in terms of the big house, the big car, the expensive this, the status, the title. In Asian cultures, they don't care about that stuff. They care about the inner peace. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because that's what I observed when I went to Thailand, when I went to Cambodia. I went to, what's the other, Kathmandu. What's the country there? Nepal. No, they all are very, very just laid back. The materialistic world, and some of them, I shared food with some of them, eating with them in their own way. They don't have much. Now, for us, in our standard, they will be considered poor, but to them, it's not, because it wasn't about the materialistic. They were happy inside. This is something we lack here in the West. We don't, because we are running after materialistic stuff. The more I have, the better it is. When in reality, the more we have, the unhappy we are becoming. No. That's why personally, I never cared to live. I have my own house here, enough space for me. Anything bigger than this, it would be ridiculous. I wasn't never into this, but anyway, that's how I look at it. So understanding those cultures and travel does provide you those insights. It really does. So at least in my experience, and this is what I decided to embark on this journey, and I'm gonna start with this Asia trip first. We see how it goes. If it is success, then I'm gonna move around the world for you to be aware and know also what's going on. Because if we, all of us, doesn't matter where you're at, if we are not well informed, anything can sway our thinking. Because, and to me, that becomes a purpose in life. I'm not in my 20s anymore. So I'm starting to think in terms of, and this is not about a legacy. This is not, when I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't want to, like, that's it. It's over. That's to me, the way I want it is my reason for being on earth has been served. And this is nothing but to share knowledge, at least something I have right here in my head. I have, so I can share it with humanity in whatever capacity I could. As far as legacy, I care less for that. That's, to me, doesn't mean a thing anyway. So, and this is where that idea of traveling is gonna be going that way. Nobody, you wrote question, Doctor. Oh, let me share it. Do you have to share? Yes, I do. They're grown up. They're all grown up. The youngest is about 17. Maybe one day I'll ask him if he shows up, but he won't. He is taller than me. I look like a midget in front of me. I have to look up. So yeah, they're grown up. They're all grown up, and they have their own lives now. Happy how they turn out to be. Happy how they don't care for geopolitics. They have nothing to do with it. And you gotta let them be. You gotta let them be. So that's, yes, I do. So that is what I wanted to just at least briefly share with you here. And I was thinking to do this, guys, once a month, if you are okay with it. It's what you guys want, because I don't want it about me talk. It's about you. It's about you. Yeah, that is what I would like to because that's the whole purpose of a community. Yeah, I mean, we'll get tired of just talking. Yeah, geopolitics is good, but you leave it aside for some times, and you just think about it. And I used to learn. I'm still, believe it or not. You're all familiar with Shaolin. Do you know what a Shaolin is? Let me type it for you. Shaolin. Do you guys know what it is? Can anybody just type in quickly what it is? Shaolin. I hope I pronounced it correctly, or spelled it correctly. The Shaolin. Yeah, once a month to learn about monk. That's correct, Francis Tango. And is it temple? Yes, it's known in China also. And what I've been doing is reading up about it. I even do their own exercises. All about natural. There is no weight there. What the weight you use waters of buckets, and you hold them up in a horse stand for a while, because you build the mentality. Is the mind. Is the mind that controls everything else. And this is why it's important, guys, for you to have this in a good conditions is also tied to what you consume, the food you eat. Yeah, what you eat plays a major role on this. This is what I discuss with Dr. Stewart on Mondays. If you're ever interested, see if your schedule permits. Otherwise, just watch the video later on. We do live stream every Monday at 5 o'clock, and we take a topic that we all deal with. For example, digestive system. Why is the digestive system is a mess for some of us? Well, it's because the type of food we eat. You are right, T. You are what you eat. I couldn't agree more. So this is one of the things that when you develop that kind of the monks for the Shaolin, it's all about here. This one is so strong. That's why they can withstand whatever pain, whatever. It's because they developed here, and developed here through discipline. They're not eating steak every day. They are not living in this luxurious. No, all that doesn't matter. It's the inner spiritual aspects of it, and you strengthen that, and your thinking becomes so clear. So that is where, and you're right, David King. You're right. It's the junk food that is people eating here by design. By design. My advice to you guys, because I care for you as part of the community, if you eat out a lot, start training your brain to cut down on that. It's because you are doing your body disservice. The food that is cooked outside ain't gonna be clean, ain't gonna be good, because good food costs. Those people are there for profit. I'm not blaming them, it's business, but it's your choice, my choice, whether we want to go there or not. For me personally, I choose not to. That's just my decision. I will not eat outside. Yeah, you go to a restaurant once a while if I feel like it. Otherwise, I cook my stuff right here at home. I go to my garden, pick up the stuff, and use it. Right. Of course, I go to grocery shopping to buy a few things, others, and so forth. So yeah, just be sort of here for us in the West. It's all about consumption. So, and the more people eat that kind of food, the more they realize why there is no energy, there is no drive, there is no purpose. It's just like this sluggish personality. Even the way they stand, they're hunching down, and it's all this tied to really what they consume. Food is very important for you. Asian cultures tends to see it differently. If you notice, Asian cultures, they cook fresh stuff on a daily basis. Even was I read somewhere, even Chinese now, they are very concerned about seeing this massive presence of KFC, of McDonald's, and they are worrying about how this is impacting now the livelihood of their population, let alone the weight. Some are gaining much weight than usually supposed to, because anytime, at least to my memory, since I was a kid, anytime I used to see an Asian person from Asia, slim and fit, no exception. Yeah, you come across here and there, which will be naturally through the genes and so forth, but overall, no, no, no. Oh, thank you so much, Peng Yu. You shared Shaolin. That's how it's pronounced. Yeah, I misspelled it. My apologies for that. And let me share this with the community, guys. Here is what Peng Yu wrote. Shaolin means small forest. Yeah. And I found them very, very disciplined, to the point I was even thinking, will it be out of, I'll be out of my mind if I ever give up everything here and go over? I don't know about the wife. I have to convince her for that. So, but again, it's because I see the meaningful existence in something like that. To us, for us in the West, we get used to the comfort. Oh my gosh, I can't drive today because there is so much snow in the street. People panic. Well, if there's snow, so what? Walk if you can walk. If you can't, wait till tomorrow. It's not the end of the world. No. So that is just how, to me the thinking, and that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for when I'm in Asia in May. This is with the assumptions that things works out. So far, your donations, guys, has been moving into, because it's fixed. That issue of the platform is working. We crossed over $1,100 so far. Still have a long way to go, but that's fine. We still have a little bit of time, because by March, I think that's my deadline, is the end of March. Because if I wait till middle April to get a plane ticket for May, those tickets gonna be way, 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 way up. So anyway, that is where I wanted to also look at this aspect when I'm there. And of course, I'm going to go and eat in the streets with them and just see what it's like, because you cannot know about a culture till you experience it firsthand. I'm not going to wait on the media to tell me here, oh, here is how it is in Thailand, here is how it is in Japan and Korea and Philippines and so forth, and China and all. No, I have to be there physically to see. So, but the idea also of, I'm also there to look for something else that serve all of us, and part of that is learning about the culture as well. So, all right, let me. Alamseen, you wrote, Many veggies can regrow from chicken's waste. You're right, because that chicken waste, you put it in the ground because it gets mixed with the dirt. And because it is, assuming you know what you feed in your chicken. This is the problem with the commercial aspect. The commercial, they only have about literally about a month or two to make this chicken look so big. Well, the chicken never meant to be that big because that's against the norm. That's why the problem for cows, for example, injected so much with hormones. And this is why you get, for example, the EU, you get Canada, to my knowledge, Japan, and Australia. Those four entities will not import meat from the US because the amount of injection. I mean, when I go outside sometimes in the morning, and I'll see the planes way up there, the chemtrail. We don't even know what they're releasing there. An average person will never look up. They're just looking down. So this is one of the reasons. It's not a laughable matter because if you only know about the issues of pesticides and all that, very, very, very problematic. So you're absolutely correct, and I'm saying I don't throw it in the garbage. I use it on the ground when I mix the ground because I buy my own mulch, but I also grow my own compost. You all know what a compost is, right? I created. I don't know if I have an image on that or not, but I doubt it. Carrot, let me see if you guys can see it. Yes, let me share the picture and you will see it. Share screen. All right, where I'm standing, see behind me. See what I know you can see the cursor I'm pointing, but behind me there's this green barrel of sort. This is where I keep my compost. And every, like when I peel, for example, some veggies or eggshells or whatever, or oranges or whatever, I'll throw it over there and just get my shovel and mix them up. Sometimes I put water, sometimes I don't. Last night it rained so much here, so I don't even need to do anything. So, and I leave it there for months and months till I'm ready to use. When I'm ready to turn the dirt, I'll just take that compost from there, put it in the dirt, and mix them up. For watering stuff, I use rain barrel. I have rain barrels. I have 3 in the house because I don't want to waste the rainwater. So I tie them to the gutter, and the water 50 gallon each, and I just use the water there. So they're just self-sufficient with basics. Did I wish to have a farm? Now I see the importance of it. I really do. I see the importance of it. And maybe down the road, maybe not. I'm not sure yet, but so this is what I do. All right, let me see some questions from you guys because this is about you also. You wrote Ramplans. Let me see here. You wrote, I ate cripples with chipotle at the base of Piramida Chula, Mexico. A native lady was selling. They tasted good, but won't eat them by force from Klaus. There's an important aspect of that. I used to take a special supplement that is made with crickets, believe it or not. I don't take it anymore, but I did hear some good things about it because as long as they are not chemically produced, that's where the difference is. So they can be okay, but most of the time for me, I only do I like grass-fed filet mignon, steak, ribeye. This is what I do for meat, and I do salmon, wild caught, no farm. Never, guys, advice: never eat farm raised fish, ever. Yeah. So if you buy the sockeye, sockeye is more from the Alaska, at least for us here in Western Alaska. That's where I get it from. So, all right, let me. Chanel, you wrote avoid McDonald's and fast food places. I couldn't agree more. And if you guys have children, I understand McDonald's does this, whatever. But if you only know that meat, by the way, it's not even meat. And those potatoes, if you only know how they are grow or they've been grown and where, As a matter of fact, I did find out that the potatoes McDonald used comes from Bill Gates' farms. And if you know anything about Bill Gates, I'll let your imagination for that. So that's what I will. So yeah, you're absolutely correct, and stay away from it, guys. It's not worth your health. Uh, a rampless one. I cook everything from scratch. Smart move. Your body will thank you for it in the long term. So, and again, you don't have to be cooking these major gourmets. It's just basics. That's all you need. As we grow older, by the way, guys, as we grow older, we don't need to eat much. So I'm going to ask you a question here. Who came up with the idea of 3 meals a day? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whose idea was that? Because I find it ludicrous. Try it. Eat only 2 meals a day. See how you feel in a week. But you have to have the discipline for it. This 3 meals a day, it's nonsense. The whole idea breakfast was created is for consumption because the food industry, this is where they introduced those cereals and all that, which has no nutritional value whatsoever. Another advice: stay away from all those cereals, stay away from all those chips. And if you eat chips, the potato chips, at least eat the one that's been cooked in avocado oil, a good quality. They are expensive, but at least you know what you're eating. So yeah, it's a good idea, Rampa, that you are cooking your own food. So, and this is where that understanding these insights will really help you long term, health wise. Because, like I always say, money comes and goes, material stuff comes and goes, wealth comes and goes. The only thing that lasts you is your health. That's it. That's it. I mean, I look at it now here in my country here. People in their 30s are suffering from chronic diseases. They used to be for people when they reach 60, some 30 years ago or 20 years ago. People in their 30s suffering from that. It's what they eat. So, and the lifestyle. So you ask them how many hours they sleep. Oh, I only function on 4 hours. Yeah, you don't want to show how macho you are, when in reality you are destroying your body. It doesn't matter what age you are. Your body still needs about 8 to 9 hours. No interruption with that. So it's a lifestyle. It's not about just food, by the way, guys. It's a lifestyle. And that comes with discipline. You have to train this to do that one. So that is, I saw the question here from nobody. Do you have chicken? Yes. Yes, I do. I shared already the pictures with you guys. Hosiris, great. You're right. Asian culture doesn't want to show off. They don't. I couldn't agree more. I have family lives in Paris. When I used to travel a lot to Paris, and I will go to Champs-Élysées, you all know where the L'Arc de Triomphe, Triumph Arc, L'Arc de Triomphe, and what is in that Champs-Élysées? All the high-end stores, from Louis Vuitton to whatever. I mean, the high-end. And you know what I used to see a lot? Asian people shopping there. They keep a low profile. They don't. It's part of their culture. They don't show off, and I admire that because it's not about the status and all that. The average people, they are wealthy enough, but they won't never show it. Yeah, yeah. So you're absolutely correct, Osiris. I couldn't agree more with that. All right, let me see something else for you guys. Yeah, and I'm scrolling all the way up to see. Francis Tango, you say also find it interesting topics, maybe once a week. Yeah, I'm gonna do a survey on this. Okay, this way I'd like to have everybody's input, whether we can do this once a week or once a month. I like to do this, and I also like to do something for the members on the channel, the one that's supporting the channel. because there are some there that became a member, and it's only a right thing to do. That's why I'm thinking about the Asian trip. I have to do something for all of you. Some, I don't know what it is yet. I'm thinking that will be like a memorabilia or something. I don't know yet. I'm thinking because uh, merchandise came up in mind, and some two viewers that suggested this to me, and I am going to reach out to them to seek more advice on it because I don't know. I'll admit it. So, but uh, one of them suggested for me to do a book signing for $100. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So, speaking of the books, I just reached out to the publisher that I did the books with, and I'm requesting the transfer of the rights and the royalties altogether. In other words, I don't want them to carry my books anymore. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to figure out a way of how I can uh, have them for you. I'll sell them for price, but a very, very minimum for uploading directly because they are keeping all the money that goes to them. So, and let alone charging one book. It's like that one there on the right there, rent. It's like $70. I'm gonna put it for far less than that down the road. That's for later on. So I intend to do that. So, all right, let me go one more time, check up some questions, and I'm gonna sign off here. Uh, to guys, let you go, and I'm gonna go get a few other things. Like I said, I do housekeeping stuff on the weekend because I like to help with. I don't. It doesn't settle well with me if my wife does everything. That's to me, it's not good. So you do a part of the. I clean stuff, even though there is a lady that comes to clean the house once a month, whatever. But I have to do the household stuff. So, and I like doing it anyway. Uh, Also, that's where I live. If my environment is so chaotic, that says a lot about me. And I usually don't like that. So, all right, let me see a question from you guys, if you have one. And remember, on Mondays, as I mentioned, I do live stream with Dr. Stewart about health issues, if you are interested. And so each time we do a topic, and he's very, very, very knowledgeable about this. Uh, So we'll be doing that one on Monday. I don't know yet the topic, but tomorrow I'll be talking to Dr. Stewart and find out which topic he wants to do. Rooster, Jim Passerotri. No, we can't. The city ordinance ban roosters in town. If you live in a farm outside, you're allowed to have roosters. It's because they are so loud. So no, I won't have that one. So all right, let me see. Question from Francis Tango. Dr. O, are you still going with El? How do you pronounce that last name? I'm having a hard time. I know who she is. And would love to have a conversation with her either now or when I get over to China if she's interested. Li Jenggin. I need to learn how to pronounce this one correctly. Yeah, I will be very interested in doing that. So having a conversation. I've been following her. I've seen some of her videos from Africa. Oh, I know it's the Chinese government supporting her trips or whatever. I in my business and I don't care. So what I care about is the content of what I am going to be sharing with her. As to who's supporting, well, yeah, of course, because there is a cost associated with all this. To travel anywhere, there's a lot of cost involved. So yeah, Francis, I will be happy to have a conversation with her if an opportunity presents itself for that. So this is what I intend to do. Let me see another question. You wrote Rampel C01. Dr. O, you can buy a container of California red worms and then add them to your garden. No, but I will not trust where those. I buy my own worms and I know the place and how they do them over there. This is where I have a hard time buying from places because I just don't trust stuff till I know where it's coming from exactly. Now, the place I get this from, I wish I had the bag with me here. It's natural. So yeah, that doesn't mean they don't make it good ones. I can check it up, or check them out, and see what it is, and go from there. So thank you for suggesting that. Let me see another question. Here is a question from Ness. Question: your thoughts about one, how Saudi Arabia and China are turning their desert into green forest, and two, how China is creating a sea in the middle of the desert to increase food yields. The second question, I am not familiar with that. I need to, but I can see why. If they have space, but also that will coincide with the growth of the society. Remember, China, 1.3 billion people. Government will have to think far ahead as far as making sure that the country is provided for. So, as to the first one, the green forest, no, Saudis have a lot of desert and a lot of heat, which means when they are the sun, it's the same thing. I think Morocco now. Morocco is number one in the world, to my knowledge, in solar panels that have been in the desert. Why? Because it's just an open space with the sun. As a matter of fact, I was aware of the Europeans traveling to that part of the world, and they turn it into a business now, the locals. What they do, they dig holes and you bury your body up to here. Why? Because the sand is so hot. And this is for people who have arthritis. That's what they do in the desert in Morocco. They turn it into business. A lot of Europeans do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just because they know what they're doing. So for the Saudis, I am not familiar with those. I'm not familiar with it. Okay, let me see. Let me see here. What you wrote, Dr. O. Rapini with grilled garlic. I don't cook garlic so much because if remember, guys, one tip as one who's been learning about cooking, and I do cook, by the way. I really cook some dishes, and I've learned that two things you don't do. Garlic are always to the last phase of the cooking meat, because if you overcook garlic, all the niacin, all the nutrients of it will evaporate because of the heat. Same thing with olive oil. You never use olive oil in cooking, ever, because olive oil, the more it heats up, it loses all the nutrients. A lot of people do not know that. So this is the one thing you don't do. Partha P, turmeric, anti-inflammatory. That is correct. I make it in my own coffee. Maybe one day I'll make a video for you guys how I prepare my coffee, so you'll get an idea. And I mix the turmeric and the cinnamon, pure cinnamon, the one from Vietnam, pure. I use that one and mix them with my grinded coffee before I'll brew my coffee and all that. And I have to make the temperature at a 260 degrees because there's a reason for all that. And that's but turmeric, I've been using it for years now, and it is it's a good anti-inflammatory aspect of it. I think in a question here from, just please put Q so I know it's question. Kate Lewis, do you think in the medical field some patients get overdosed of the surgeons can practice? That's correct. Not as far as the practice, but as far as the dosage of medication. The medical field here in the US, and again, I went through the medical procedures. Sometimes I had some health issues that I had to deal with, and only dealt with them medically per se. It was always my questions to the doctors and surgeons, and I was like, hey, how much stuff you putting into this particular when they put you under whatever? I need to know the dosage. I need to, and they get shocked when you ask them questions. I was like, well, I don't care how you feel. I gotta know what you're putting in my body, man. Come on, don't give me that look of like, well, I am the doctor. So what? So why? Because for me, I've learned enough about how the medical aspects here in America is the business transactions. It's all for business. I mean, here's a question for you guys. Do you think with all the knowledge we couldn't find a cure to cancer? Why cancer is created to begin with? Yeah. So yeah, I that's why I don't just give in to whatever the doctor is saying. You have to push back sometimes. That is which one? Oh, and Bell, sorry, no geopolitical conversation today. My apologies. Uh, Let me see here. A caramel crash. Your home is a reflection of your brain, allegedly. I see the wisdom into something like this. I mean, this is why I always like wonder. I can't tell people what to do if I couldn't do it in my own home. Well, I have to keep my place clean. I have to keep it organized, and because it's reflective of the environment I work in. Do you guys know I can't sit in this office if it is disorganized? I just can't. But again, the office will not be disorganized because I'm the only one who uses it. So nobody gets in here. So, uh, but just to give you an idea, I have to have everything in its place because being organized helps me focus, believe it or not. So you're absolutely correct. I couldn't agree more. Caramel crash. Question from Meng Tong Fu. Let me share it here with the screen. Question: would the USA government shut down the internet if a war started? No, sorry, no politics today. My apologies. My apologies. No questions about geopolitics at all, or governments or whatever. So, uh, what are the three most important business opportunities should one be thinking about as we see a shift in the global sphere? Well, the one thing I can think of is create your own business at home. Well, only you're going to create business at home if you have something to sell, some products of sort. You and your significant others can just sit down and hash out some ideas. There's always an opportunity no matter what. There's always an opportunity no matter what. So it depends again. The only one thing you need to know when you run your own business, you put in more time and efforts at the beginning. You know, to me, here's an example because I look at this as the business aspects of it. I can't just go and chill out. I'll get to it whenever I get to it. No, it's because it becomes a responsibility, it becomes a duty. You're going to have to get up in the morning and be at a certain time in front of a computer preparing what you're going to be doing because you run it as a business. Even though I do it for an hour or two with you guys live here, but you don't know what I do behind the scenes as far as preparation, as far as the digging of the information, as far as what I need to do to get all that information for you. So that's my point. Just think about what you are good at or where you see the opportunity pertaining to your skills. You don't want to chase something that you don't know much about because it will waste your time. So that's the way I see it. The technology seems to be where things are headed. That's one of. Uh, I am thinking in terms. I was asking myself yesterday. I was talking to my wife, and what would happen if I would have started YouTube 15 years ago? Of course, 15 years ago, I was moving around the world a lot. So, but anyway, so this is one idea to really think about, and it should work out. Always think outside the box. That's the key. All right, I'll do one more here, and I am going to sign off. All right, Matt Becky. Question: this coffee making of yours, when are you going to see the clip? When are we going to see the clip? I've been waiting for almost 2 years, even on Instagram page. You are right. You are absolutely correct, Matt, because I did say this. I said it, and I am the one to be blamed for it. Where the challenge was, I couldn't coordinate the time for the person to take the recording for me. So I even discussed it with my wife. Like, can you just take the phone and record this because I gave my word to the people. So you are right, and I am to blame for it. I take the full responsibility for it, and I promise I will do it ASAP soon. So, and I'll share that video with you guys. So thank you for bringing this up, and it's the truth. So, and I am the one to bear the responsibility for it. So I will make it. I will make it. Uh, Question from F. I don't know. Fight back. Why everybody obsessed in losing weight? When you say everybody, are you referring in the West or the East or the whole world? That depends. If we were talking about the West, it's because it's the image. Everything here has to do with the image. Or if you, I don't know, if you have it, if you live in America, if you, I don't know. So whatever. If you live in America, you watch TV, you see all the commercials. They won't show you somebody heavy. They show you skinny people. So it's there because that's how your brain registers. There's a lot involved in those kind of commercials. Behaviorists are the one contributing to how the image to be, because psychologists understand human behavior as part of it. So yeah, the obsession is more so in the West than it is in other parts. All right, let me see here. Oh, this is an interesting. Here in Crete Island, Greece, everybody cooks straight with olive oil. Interesting. Yeah, when I visited Greece, Athens, I was in Athens. Of course, I didn't cook because I was just visiting, so I ate at the restaurants. And I ate a lot of Greek salads over there, I remember. Interesting that they cook with olive oil, but to my knowledge, and I asked people who know about cooking quite a bit, they told me to never cook with olive oil. I cook with avocado oil. That's the one I use. Okay, let me see. Uh, Francis Tango, Doctor, I heard they do have one for cancer. State secret. Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge was that some scientist disappeared. That's a conversation for the other place, and I will detail sometimes if I get to it as far as the aspect. But yeah, because the logical question to ask, with all these developments and all that, we couldn't find a cure for that unless there is another agenda to that. So nobody. Dr. O, don't buy Cambodian cinnamon, but the ones from Kalen or Ceylon. Yeah, I don't. My wife buys it, but she knows about them. She told me last time that she got these organic ones from Vietnam, and it was natural. It was good. So I'll remember that one. Doctor, question: how is your blood pressure? Mine is perfect. I'm not bragging here. Mine is perfect. The last time Anna just saw my doc, the military one, because I don't go to civilians. I go to military ones associated with the military because I'm a veteran. So they did my blood. It was 120 over 62, something like that. She told me the perfect range for it. So, yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. When I get worked up on some, if injustice is done, now that really bothers me a little bit because I don't like it. I don't like it, and uh, for like what I have experienced in YouTube here, I didn't like that. So I get worked up on it, but because I can hide those emotions, oh, I'm pretending I'm always happy. No. That ain't me. That ain't me. You are what you see. When I'm happy, excited, I am happy and excited. When I am not, I am not. I can't pretend. But so far, my blood pressure is where it needs to be, but also has to do with what I eat. Yeah, that's the one. And I keep stress to the lowest level. Uh, that is usually what I do. Let me see. Uh, MD Mazhar, Dr. O, what is the best supplement for bodybuilding and fitness? Bodybuilding, I have no idea. When I used to lift back in the day, this might surprise you. My back was about 46. My waist was about 32. You got the idea. Back then, that was in my late 20s. I used to lift a lot, and the individual I used to work out with was about 6'6". Daryl, I still remember his name. He was a cop, big, tall guy, man. He will squat. Believe it or not, he will squat with 4 plates each side. Squatting. Of course, I won't squat with 4 plates. I won't do that. But when I was working back, whatever, and at that time I used to take some powder. He suggested it to me. He said, that's strong, whatever. The only problem I found out later on is that if you don't work out, that powder you take turns up to be a fat, turn into a fat in your body. But I stopped all that. Now I work out, I lift weight, but just for endurance, and I don't take anything. I do take my own supplements that my wife gives me because she knows about. She is a certified nutritionist, so you can get the idea why the way I look or my level of energy, whatever. It's because the supplements, and she has her own she has a lot of clients from around the world for that. It just I can't just tell you here is what it is because you can buy it in the stores. This is special for her. Comes through no chemical, none. It's natural one. So I don't know. The only one I know about bodybuilding, whatever, is that they said you have to eat a lot of protein. That's the only thing I know about that one. Okay, let me see something down here. Fight back, Dr. O. Do you speak Moroccan? What is Moroccan? Moroccan dialect or Berber? It depends which question you're asking. There are 3 dialects in Morocco. So Jim Passarotri, you look great, Doc. You practice what you preach. Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Because I can't be telling you guys something to do if I don't do it myself. To me, that's the example of you lead by example. This is again what bothers me about sometimes when people start to assume some personality of sort and they don't have the knowledge for it. You're taking titles but you're not qualified for. So yeah, I thank you so much. But again, this is a combination of so many things. The way I eat, I sleep. I do not mess around with it. You guys know I go to bed at about 2100 hours because I don't watch TV. I have TV, but I don't watch it. Don't have time for TV. So I sleep, I eat well, and less stress, and keep positive energy and keep positive thinking. That's usually what's, and all that will reflect in addition to one secret. One secret. So you guys want to know what it is, right? Yeah, why not? I don't take hot showers. I don't do hot water. I do cold. Doesn't matter if it is 2 degrees or whatever. Cold shower for me. In winter, in middle of snow, cold shower. As a matter of fact, when it's snowing, I step outside barefoot and all that stuff. So cold shower. No hot shower for me. I take shower, but no hot shower, including my head. When I wash my head, cold shower. So that's one of the secrets, believe it or not. Because read up on it. I'll let you dig into it and learn about it. So, all right, guys. I am very excited to have spent this time with you, and we look forward to doing it next time. Once again, this is the link for channel if you wanted to support. The first one is for the Asia trip. The second one is for the channel, and I am very grateful for your support. It means a lot to me. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time. Bye-bye.